If you are buying a graphics card right now, you are being forced to make a choice between two completely different philosophies. On one side, you have Nvidia. They are the market leader, the premium brand, and the kings of cutting-edge software features. On the other side, you have AMD. They are the underdog, the champions of pure hardware value, and the heroes of raw RAM capacity. For over 20 years, these two giants have been locked in a brutal war for your money. But in 2026, the rules of this war have completely changed. Tech companies are no longer just selling you copper and silicon. They are selling you AI algorithms and software ecosystems. If you make the wrong choice, you will end up with an overpriced piece of plastic that cannot run next year's games. Let's break down Nvidia versus AMD, analyze their hidden traps, and find out which side actually deserves your cash. Let's start with the absolute foundation of gaming performance: raw power. For generations, the formula for a great graphics card was simple. You put a massive, powerful graphics chip on a board, gave it a wide memory bus, and packed it with as much video memory as possible. This is where AMD absolutely dominates the mid-range market. AMD's philosophy is straightforward: give the gamer more hardware for less money. If you look at the price tag of an AMD card, you are almost always getting more raw rasterization performance and way more RAM compared to Nvidia at the exact same price. While Nvidia is greedily cutting down the memory specs of their budget cards, AMD is generously throwing 16 GB of RAM into their mid-range options. In pure, traditional game rendering, where you just turn up the resolution and settings without any software tricks, AMD delivers a massive punch to Nvidia's face. But Nvidia does not care about traditional rendering anymore. Nvidia's philosophy shifted completely toward artificial intelligence and software engineering. Jensen Huang realized that making bigger silicon chips is too expensive. Instead, Nvidia decided to make their graphics chips smarter. This is where the Green Team deploys their ultimate weapon, DLSS. Deep Learning Supersampling is a massive game changer. It uses dedicated AI hardware inside your RTX card called tensor cores. Instead of rendering a game at a heavy, native 4K resolution, your card renders it at 1080p, and then the AI magically upscaled the image to 4K. It looks almost identical to native resolution, but your frame rate instantly doubles. AMD tried to counter this with their own technology called FSR, but because FSR doesn't use dedicated AI hardware, it relies on traditional algorithms. The result? AMD's upscaling often looks blurry, has weird ghosting effects, and shimmering textures. In the software war, Nvidia is playing chess while AMD is still playing checkers. The software gap gets even wider when we talk about the most demanding graphic technology on Earth: ray tracing. Ray tracing simulates real, physical beams of light, reflections, and shadows inside a game. It makes virtual worlds look stunningly realistic, but it requires a catastrophic amount of computing power. Nvidia's graphics architecture was built for ray tracing from day one. Their RT cores handle these calculations effortlessly. When you turn on heavy ray tracing or path tracing in Cyberpunk 2077, an Nvidia card stays strong while an AMD card completely collapses. AMD's graphics architecture treats ray tracing as an afterthought. If you love playing heavy, cinematic, single-player games with maxed-out visuals, buying an AMD card right now is almost impossible to justify. However, Nvidia has a massive, dark secret that they don't want you to know: the RAM tax. Because Nvidia spends billions of dollars developing AI software, they want to maximize their profit margins on hardware. They do this by starving their budget and mid-range cards of video memory. Selling a premium, modern graphics card with only 8 GB of RAM is a crime against gamers. Modern games are incredibly unoptimized. They eat video memory like crazy. An AMD card with 16 GB of RAM will smoothly sail through heavy textures, while a similarly priced Nvidia card with 8 or 10 GB will choke, stutter, and drop frames because its memory is completely full. Nvidia is deliberately creating a hardware bottleneck to force you to upgrade your graphics card much sooner. It is a brilliant business strategy, but a horrible deal for the consumer. Let's talk about the user experience outside of gaming: drivers and software control panels. For years, AMD had a horrible reputation for unstable drivers. Gamers would buy an AMD card, and their system would constantly crash to a blue screen. Today, AMD has mostly fixed this issue. Their Adrenaline software is actually incredible. It is a modern, clean, all-in-one control panel where you can overclock your card, record your gameplay, and monitor your system stats without ever needing a third-party app. Nvidia, on the other hand, spent years forcing users to use a control panel that looked like it was designed for Windows XP. They are finally modernizing their software app, but they still feel corporate and split up. But what if you do more than just gaming? What if you are a content creator, a video editor, or an AI enthusiast? This is where the door completely slams shut for AMD. Nvidia has built an absolute monopoly on professional software optimization. Their CUD ecosystem is the industry standard. If you open Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Blender, or any major 3D rendering program, Nvidia's hardware acceleration is perfectly integrated. A render that takes 5 minutes on an Nvidia card can take 15 minutes on an AMD card, or straight up error out. And if you want to run local AI models, stable diffusion, or voice processing software at home, AMD is practically useless. Nvidia isn't just a gaming company anymore. They are an AI infrastructure empire. So, how do we make the final choice? It all comes down to what kind of gamer you actually are. If you have a strict budget, and you just want the highest possible frame rate in traditional games by AMD, you will get a card with a massive amount of VRAM that will last for years without running out of memory. You will have to sacrifice ray tracing performance and accept slightly worse upscaling. But you will get pure, raw hardware value. But if you have the cash, and you want to experience games at their absolute visual limit, by Nvidia, you are paying a premium price, and you are getting less RAM for your money. But you gain access to the absolute best software ecosystem on the planet. DLSS frame generation will save your frame rate. Ray tracing will make your games look futuristic. And your card will be a powerhouse for any creative work or video editing. The war between red and green is no longer about who makes the fastest chip. It's about whether you want pure hardware muscle or advanced software brains. Subscribe for more bite-sized PC tech guides and settle the debate in the comments. Are you Team Green or Team Red right now? See ya!